So the Knicks just destroyed the Pacers last night. This is the Knicks team we were waiting to see. Last night, the Knicks absolutely tore through the Pacers with an insane 123-98 beatdown at Madison Square Garden. It was their second game of the season, and boy, did they bounce back. After that rough loss to the Celtics, they came out ready to show the league they're not messing around. Now the Knicks sit at 1-1, and this game felt like they were firing on all cylinders. Let's talk about the defense. The Knicks knew they had to make adjustments after Boston nearly put them in the record books with the most threes allowed in a single game. Boston went 29 for 61 from deep, but the Knicks put a stop to any repeat performances. Against Indiana, they held the Pacers to just 3 of 30 from the arc. Yeah, you heard that right, 3. Indiana looked like they couldn't buy a bucket out there, and it wasn't just bad luck. The Knicks defense was locked in, extending out, making every shot a struggle. Coach Thibodeau emphasized how they needed to continue to work the game, and work it they did. Mikal Bridges looked like a new man out there. After a shaky preseason, where his shooting form was actually under question, he came alive against the Pacers. He showed his full scoring arsenal, from mid-range shots to turnaround jumpers and even runners. It was exactly what he needed to shake off the preseason jitters, and it was exactly what Knicks fans were hoping to see. If this is what he's bringing, New York's offense just got a whole lot scarier. But Bridges wasn't the only one lighting it up. Karl Anthony Towns had a monster home debut for the Knicks, putting up 21 points and grabbing 15 rebounds. Talk about making an impact. He gave them that inside-out scoring threat they've been craving, spacing the floor and creating all kinds of driving lanes for their guards. Towns was all over the place, and it was clear he's going to be a game changer for this team. And let's not overlook Jaylen Brunson, who led all scorers with 26 points. This guy was relentless, pushing the pace and driving to the rim with no mercy. When Brunson's got that scoring touch, defenses are in for a nightmare. He's that rare combination of skill and grit, and when he gets rolling, you can just feel the energy shift. That's exactly what happened against Indiana. Plus, Josh Hart came through with 20 points and 10 boards of his own. He was everywhere, crashing the glass, running the floor, and hitting shots when it mattered. Hart's hustle plays were contagious, and every time Indiana tried to mount some kind of comeback, he was there to shut it down. You just can't put a value on what he brings to this team. Indiana, on the other hand, looked like they couldn't catch a break. Tyrese Halliburton, their all-star point guard, went ice cold. 0 points on the night, and he missed all 7 of his 3-point attempts. That's right, not a single point from their main guy. He's now 1 for 16 from 3 in the season, and you could see the frustration on his face. The Pacers relied so heavily on his playmaking, but the Knicks' perimeter defense, with Bridges, OG, and Hart, was just smothering. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I'd genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the game. The Pacers' offense was supposed to be one of the most efficient in league history, and they even set a playoff record for shooting percentage in their last game at Madison Square Garden. But last night, all that firepower fizzled out. Every time they tried to get something going, New York's defense shut them down. The difference was night and day. It's clear the Knicks were ready for this game. After giving up that record-tying 29 threes to Boston, they came out determined to flip the script, and they did it in style, holding the Pacers to a ridiculous 10% from 3. That's practically unheard of, and it says a lot about how much this team is committed to defense. New York's roster additions have really changed the dynamic. Towns stretches the floor with his 3-point shooting, making space for guys like Brunson to work inside, while Bridges and OG lock down the perimeter. And let's not forget, when Hart is hustling and doing the dirty work, it just lifts the whole squad. This is exactly the look Knicks fans were hoping to see when these trades went down, and it was the perfect response after the rough opener in Boston. So what's the takeaway from all this? The Knicks mean business. They got their wake-up call in that season opener, and they didn't waste any time making the necessary changes. They're making their statement early, and if they keep playing like this, they're going to be a serious problem in the East. Let's talk about how this mostly matters, though. That's Jaylen Brunson. Jaylen Brunson's last stretch of games last season was nothing short of phenomenal. Over the last 15 games, Brunson was putting up 35 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds on averages of 50% from the field, 39% from 3, and 85% from the line. And get this, in that span, the Knicks went 10-5. That's serious momentum, and it carried right into the playoffs. In just 5 playoff games, Brunson scored or assisted on a wild 321 points. That's the second most over a 5-game span in NBA postseason history. Brunson was in elite company, joining legends like Jerry West, Bernard King, And Michael Jordan, with 4 straight 40-point games in the postseason. The guy was unstoppable. Now let's talk about how Karl-Anthony Towns, being on the Knicks this season, is about to change the game for Brunson. Towns is one of the best shooting big men in the league, and that's not just hype. The guy can stretch the floor in a way that most big men just can't. Opposing defenders can't just sag off him, which means Brunson has so much more space to operate. With Towns lurking around the perimeter, defenders are forced to stay glued to him, which opens up driving lanes and puts a lot less pressure on Brunson to create everything himself. For a guard like Brunson, this is a dream situation. Think about it. Brunson's already got the speed, the footwork, and the skill to get to his spots. But now, with Towns spacing the floor, he's got more freedom to attack without running into a crowded paint. This is the perfect setup for him to put up MVP-level numbers. Just imagine Brunson driving into the paint with Towns pulling the opposing big man away from the rim. There's no clogging, no traffic, just Brunson taking it all the way to the hoop or kicking it out to the open shooter if they collapse on him. It's a nightmare for defenses. Last season, even without that level of spacing, Brunson was scorching. Just picture what he's going to do with Towns as his wingman, pulling defenders out to the perimeter and clearing the way. This pairing could be unstoppable. Brunson's mid-range and floater game is already one of the best in the league, and now he's got the green light to exploit every inch of space Towns creates. You can bet he's going to take full advantage. With Towns out there, Brunson doesn't need to force tough shots nearly as much. If the defense collapses on him, he's got Towns for the kickout. Towns can hit threes like a guard, so you know defenders are scrambling to cover him. That means fewer double teams on Brunson, fewer contested shots, and way more efficient scoring opportunities. With his skill set, this is the perfect recipe for a breakout season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's putting up MVP numbers by the time playoffs roll around. This is what the Knicks have been waiting for, a dynamic 1-2 punch that forces defenses to pick their poison. If they focus on Brunson, Towns will make them pay from outside. If they focus on Towns, Brunson has the green light to go to work inside. And remember, this is a guy who scored over 35 points per game in his last 15 games of the regular season. He's a walking bucket, and he's only getting better. And here's the kicker. Towns' impact isn't just on the offensive side. Having him out there allows the Knicks to play a more versatile lineup. They can go big without sacrificing shooting. They can run small ball sets. And with Towns' ability to pull down boards and stretch the floor, Brunson can play faster and look for early offense. This versatility opens up so many options, and it's the kind of flexibility that makes a team dangerous. Brunson's shown he's a big-time player, but now he's got the setup to go from great to elite. He's got the skills, the confidence, and the opportunity. And with Towns drawing defenders out, he's primed to have a massive season. There's no reason he can't keep this level of play going, and if he does, don't be shocked if he's making a serious case for MVP. So, with Towns as his running mate, Brunson's about to show the league he's ready to take that next step. I want to check out some crazy numbers from the Pacers game though. Jaylen Brunson was on fire. He dropped 26 points with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, shooting an efficient 53% from the field. And check this out. He was a stunning plus 36 on the night. That's dominance right there. Brunson absolutely controlled the floor, and the numbers don't lie. He was everywhere. Now compare that to Tyrese Halliburton, and it's almost unbelievable. Halliburton ended the game scoreless. That's right, 0 points. He shot 0% from the field, adding just 1 rebound and 5 assists, and finished the night at -23. Halliburton struggled to make any impact, while Brunson just took over. And the crazy stats don't end with Brunson. The entire Knicks starting lineup was on another level. Karl-Anthony Towns had a big night with 21 points and a monster 15 rebounds. And he even swatted away 2 shots. When Towns stretches the floor like that and dominates the paint, it opens everything up for the Knicks guards. Josh Hart? Yeah, he wasn't about to be left out of the act. He racked up 20 points, 10 rebounds, and threw in 3 assists. Hart's energy on both ends was insane, giving the Knicks that extra edge all night. Then there's OG. He added 14 points and grabbed 4 rebounds. He didn't need to take over the scoring with everyone else clicking, but he was rock solid, bringing that reliable presence and keeping the defense tight. And Mikal Bridges, let's just say his turnaround was something to see. Last game, he was a rough -33, which actually set a record for one of the worst plus-minus in a Knicks debut since the 90s. But this time, total redemption. Bridges went off with 21 points and 5 assists. He came out aggressive, and you could feel his confidence from the jump. The way he was hitting those turnarounds and mid-range shots was nothing short of electric. This Knicks squad, they were unstoppable. It's like every single player stepped up, and their chemistry was unreal. Let's talk about the new guy though, Cat. Last night, Karl Anthony Towns showed Knicks fans exactly why he's going to be an absolute game changer. He put up 21 points and grabbed 15 rebounds, marking the first time since the legendary Patrick Ewing that a Knick had those numbers with 100% shooting from three. That's right, he didn't miss from deep. His ability to stretch the floor like that as a big man, it's beyond rare. And for this Knicks team, it's an incredible new weapon. Think about what Cat's bringing to New York, a unique mix of size, skill, and shooting that almost no other big in the league has. We're talking about a guy who, back when he was with the Timberwolves, actually became the first player ever to make at least 10 two-pointers, 10 three-pointers, and 10 free throws in a single game. That's not just impressive, it's insane. It shows he's got the complete package: post moves, range from beyond the arc, and a touch at the line. Now, Towns isn't just a shooter who happens to be tall. He's the only big man in NBA history to pull off multiple seasons, averaging over 20 points per game, while shooting 50% from the field and 40% from three. And here's the kicker. He's done that for 5 seasons. Not once or twice, 5 times. That's unheard of for a big guy. This consistency shows he can adapt to any situation and still deliver elite shooting while keeping defenders on edge. With Towns, the Knicks get a guy who not only spreads the floor, but can pull the opposing team's center away from the rim. Imagine what that does for Jaylen Brunson. With Cat lurking on the perimeter, defenders have to make a choice. They either help on Brunson's drives and leave Towns open from three, or they stay glued to Towns and watch as Brunson gets easy layups. For someone like Brunson, who's already a master at driving and finishing around the rim, this is a dream scenario. It wouldn't be a stretch to say Towns could help set Brunson up for an MVP level season. And if you're thinking Towns is just all offense, let's talk about how his rebounding will impact the Knicks. In his career with the Wolves, Cat averaged over 10 rebounds a game. That's another massive boost for a Knicks squad that's looking to dominate both ends of the floor. His presence in the paint and ability to secure boards means more second chances on offense and fewer scoring opportunities for the other team. We all know that rebounding is the key to winning games, and now the Knicks have a big who can clean up the glass and immediately start the fast break. Plus, Towns has a unique competitive edge. He's one of only 7 players in NBA history to have multiple 60-point games. 60. We're not just talking about your typical double-double guy. Cat has the ability to absolutely explode on any given night. His range means he's a threat from everywhere on the court, and that makes life so much easier for the rest of the team. Opponents can't just camp out in the paint or double Brunson every play. If they do, Towns is going to make them pay from deep or create opportunities for his teammates to get wide open shots. And let's not forget the historical context. Towns is the only big man to ever win the three-point contest. That's right, the only one. He's rewriting the rules for what a center can do in this league. Sure, we've seen centers who can hit the occasional three, but Cat's range and accuracy are in another league entirely. When he's on the court, the Knicks offense can run so much smoother and more creatively. With his high basketball IQ and his shooting touch, he's able to keep defenders guessing. He'll pull up from three, drive to the basket, or even create shots for others. This versatility is exactly what the Knicks need. Now, looking back at his career with the Timberwolves, Towns averaged 22.9 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. And get this, he did it on 52% shooting from the field, 40% from three, and 84% from the free throw line. Those are guard numbers. In his 9 seasons in Minnesota, Cat proved he's more than just a traditional big man. He's a versatile, efficient scorer who can play inside and out. He also became a 4-time All-Star, made 2 All-NBA teams, and even took home Rookie of the Year honors back in 2016. And here's a fun fact for all the history buffs out there. Cat holds the record for the most three-pointers and points scored in a single game by any Timberwolves player ever. He's also second all-time in points for the franchise, trailing only the legendary Kevin Garnett. This guy has put in the work, he's been a leader on the floor, and he's ready to bring that same impact to the Big Apple. With his offensive firepower, the Knicks now have a player who can help them go toe-to-toe with any team, any night. But it's not just about the numbers. Cat brings a mentality that fits perfectly with what New York is building. He knows how to compete in tough games, and he's faced some of the best big men in the league throughout his career. His battles with guys like Jokic and Embiid have only made him tougher, smarter, and better equipped to handle the intensity of the Eastern Conference. He's going to be a problem for any team trying to defend him, and he's going to make it easier for everyone on the Knicks to get better looks and cleaner shots. And let's give credit to the Knicks front office for making this move happen. By adding Towns, they've given this team a chance to reach new heights. The Knicks now have one of the most balanced rosters in the league, with players who can score, defend, and control the boards. The Eastern Conference just got a whole lot more interesting with Cat in New York. They've got the pieces to be a real threat this season, and Towns is going to play a massive role in that. So, with Cat, the Knicks have a player who can stretch the floor like no other, rebound with the best of them, and dominate in ways that only a few big men in history ever have. His presence opens up so many possibilities for Jaylen Brunson, who's now got the space and support to play his best basketball. And if Brunson takes it up a notch, we could be looking at an MVP caliber season from him. In short, Towns is everything the Knicks needed. A versatile, floor-spacing, rebounding machine who's ready to make a statement in the East. For Knicks fans, this season just got a whole lot more exciting. Let's talk about Bridges, though. Mikal Bridges didn't waste any time flipping the narrative on his shooting with the Knicks. Just 2 games into his regular season, he's already gone from shaky to unstoppable. After a rough first half against the Celtics, where he missed his first 5 shots, including 4 from deep, Bridges completely turned it around. And man, did he show up when it counted. His Garden debut against the Pacers was electric. He scored 21 points on an incredible 8 of 12 shooting, and the crowd was eating it up. You could feel the excitement buzzing through Madison Square Garden. Bridges even said himself, "It was dope, man. Just the excitement in here. It's really crazy. Just happy to get a win." And I mean, who wouldn't be excited? New team, home debut, and the fans already on their feet. He checked out to a massive ovation, and it was well deserved. The Knicks were up by 28 points with 9.5 minutes left in the fourth, and Bridges was just soaking it all in. But it wasn't just the Garden game that showed off his turnaround. This is a guy who nailed 15 of 20 shots over the last 6 quarters after that tough start. Think about that for a second. In only 2 games, he goes from 0 points in the first half against the Celtics to one of the best shooters on the court against the Pacers. And that's exactly why the Knicks were right to believe in him. Now, a lot of people were worried when he struggled during the preseason, going 2 of 19 from 3-point range. Yeah, that raised some eyebrows. But Bridges knew he just needed a rhythm, a little time to adjust. That's why the team didn't panic. Coach Thibodeau put it best. He pointed out that Bridges has a career average of nearly 38% from deep. Thibodeau was confident Bridges would turn things around, and Bridges did just that. And that work ethic, Bridges didn't just show up for the Knicks and hope to find his stroke again. He's putting in the work every single day, tinkering with his shot, making those adjustments, and taking every opportunity to get better. Thibodeau even called out how social media can amplify every little thing. But for him, watching Bridges grind it out, day in and day out, there was never any doubt. This guy's been working hard, fine-tuning his shot, and trying to fit into a new system with new teammates. He's been through it before and knows how to adjust. Plus, it's not only about his offense. Bridges stepped up his defense in that Pacers game too, shutting down Tyrese Halliburton, who didn't score a single point. Shutting down an all-star like Halliburton, that's huge. It wasn't just about dropping points for Bridges. He was all over the court, making an impact on both ends. Defense wins games, and Bridges is clearly out to prove he's just as reliable on that end as he is behind the arc. With Bridges playing like this, the Knicks have to be feeling good about their new addition. He's proving the doubters wrong, showing everyone that his shooting isn't something to worry about. And if he keeps playing like this, those Garden ovations are going to keep coming all season long. Bridges is out to make his mark, and he's doing it in style. But someone else I think will be exciting for the Knicks this season, Duce McBride. Miles McBride is poised for an exciting season with the Knicks. After a solid performance where he scored 20 points on Tuesday night, he followed it up with a more measured contribution of 8 points in just 20 minutes off the bench at Madison Square Garden. What's impressive is that he shot 3 for 4 from the field and nailed both of his 3-point attempts. He finished with a +7 rating in the game, which is a nice turnaround from his -18 in a previous loss. Now let's talk about his development. McBride is not just a player, he's a team player. During the game, he was spotted offering encouraging words to rookie Ariel Hukporti. That shows his leadership and commitment to the team's success. He wrapped up his 3rd NBA season last May after a tough 7-game battle against the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. During that playoff run, he stepped up significantly. He averaged 11 points on 44% shooting in roughly 27 minutes per game. This past season, McBride averaged 8.3 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 1.7 assists through 68 regular season games. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but it's about how he plays. Last December, he signed a 3-year, $13 million extension with the Knicks, signaling that the franchise believes in him. As players were traded away throughout the season, McBride found himself getting more minutes, and he capitalized on that opportunity. He spent 2 seasons at West Virginia, leading the Mountaineers to an NCAA tournament appearance during his sophomore year. He was fantastic in college, averaging 15.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game. His transition from college to the NBA has been impressive, especially considering how he's developed over the years. One of the most exciting developments for McBride has been his improvement in three-point shooting. In his first 2 NBA seasons, he shot only 28% from beyond the arc. But last year, he took that up to an eye-popping 41% on almost 4 attempts per game. That's a staggering improvement. That suggests he's ready for a breakout season, possibly even in the conversation for 6th Man of the Year. Now, the Knicks didn't start their season strong, but McBride certainly did. He exploded off the bench with 22 points against Boston. If he can keep that momentum going and continue to take some pressure off Jaylen Brunson, the Knicks will be even more dynamic on offense. Just imagine what that could mean for their playoff aspiration. McBride's ability to play both guard positions gives them flexibility in their lineup, and his defensive prowess is not to be overlooked. His high energy and tenacity on the defensive end can disrupt opposing offenses, and that's invaluable in tight games. His work ethic and commitment to improvement have been evident in how he's embraced his role on the team. This year, he's not just a backup point guard, he's a vital piece of the puzzle. The Knicks will benefit tremendously if McBride can continue to develop his game and be a reliable scorer off the bench. I genuinely believe he has the potential to be a significant contributor this season. His shooting has improved, his confidence is soaring, and he's ready to show everyone that he belongs at this level. Fans should be excited to see what he can bring to the court. With the way he's playing, the Knicks have an opportunity to elevate their game and compete with the best. McBride's journey is a testament to hard work and determination, and it's going to be thrilling to watch him carve out his niche in the NBA. The energy in Madison Square Garden is going to be electric, especially when McBride is on the court. If he keeps improving and contributes consistently, there's no telling how far he can take the Knicks this season. Just picture it, McBride hitting clutch shots, making plays, and energizing the crowd with his hustle. It's going to be a wild ride, and I can't wait to see it all unfold. So, keep your eyes peeled for Miles McBride this season. He's ready to prove he's not just another player on the roster, but a key part of the Knicks' success. His journey is just beginning, and I'm all in for the ride. Let's see what he can do. But the craziest part, this is all without Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson will make a massive impact on the Knicks. When he's back in action, his presence can transform the team's performance, and let me tell you why. After battling injuries last season, Robinson's recovery is a huge relief for fans. He recently mentioned that his rehab is going great, and that's music to my ears. He's feeling proud of his progress, and those good signs he's talking about mean big things for the Knicks. Let's break it down. Robinson is a phenomenal rim protector. When he's on the court, he brings a level of defensive intensity that's hard to match. Just look at his stats. When healthy, he averages over 2 blocks per game. He can be that wall opposing player fear when they drive toward the basket. With his wingspan and athleticism, he changes shots and makes it challenging for opponents to finish at the rim. The Knicks need that kind of energy on defense, especially with how tough the competition is. And it's not just his shot blocking ability, he's also a beast on the boards. Last season, he led the league in offensive rebounds with an average of 5.3 per game. That's insane. He gives the Knicks those extra possessions they desperately need. Every time he crashes the glass, it's an opportunity for the team to score, and that can turn the momentum of a game. His rebounding prowess is key to their identity as a physical, gritty team. Without him, they've struggled to maintain that edge, especially with just one standout rebounder, Josh Hart. Now let's talk about how he contributes offensively. Robinson doesn't need plays run for him. He's a master at cleaning up around the basket and finishing strong. His field goal percentage hovers around 71%. That means he's converting most of his looks right at the rim. When he's healthy, he's a reliable target for alley-oops and put-back dunks. Just imagine the connection he can have with the guards. A little pick and roll with Jaylen Brunson could lead to some highlight plays. One interesting twist is Robinson's willingness to experiment with his defensive style. He's mentioned wanting to try pressing more, which could shake things up for the Knicks. Traditionally, he's been in drop coverage during pick and rolls, but mixing it up could keep opponents on their toes. Adding that versatility to his game means he could defend multiple positions effectively. That adaptability can be a game changer for the Knicks as they face various offensive schemes from their opponents. Now, health is a huge factor here. Robinson's missed a significant amount of time due to injuries, including a brutal stretch last season where he missed 50 straight games. That's tough to watch. He had surgery to repair a stress fracture in his right ankle, and even after returning, he faced challenges. In the playoffs, he dealt with dirty plays and struggled with conditioning. It's been a roller coaster for him, but it looks like he's on the mend now. If he can stay healthy this season, it's going to be a different story for the Knicks. One of the best things about Robinson is how he helps define the team's identity. Over the past 2 seasons, the Knicks built a reputation as elite rebounders and paint protectors. That starts with Robinson. When he's in the lineup, they can focus on their strengths and dominate the boards. If he can stay fit and bring that intensity, it's going to elevate the entire squad's performance. Imagine the combination of Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns in the lineup. With Robinson at center and Towns possibly at power forward, the Knicks could create mismatches all over the court. Towns offers a different style, and Robinson can cover for him defensively while also cleaning up the glass. It could be a potent combination that gives opposing teams nightmare. And let's not forget how essential it is for the Knicks to have that consistent rim protector throughout the season. Injuries can derail a team's playoff hopes, but having Robinson healthy means they can face challenges head on. His ability to impact games defensively will set the tone for the rest of the roster. In summary, Mitchell Robinson's return is like a shot of adrenaline for the Knicks. He's not just a player, he's a game changer. From blocking shots and grabbing rebounds to finishing at the rim and providing defensive versatility, he brings it all. If he can stay healthy, the Knicks are in for an exciting season. Fans should be ready because when Robinson's on the floor, anything can happen. His hard work in rehab is paying off, and I can't wait to see him back in action. The energy he brings will be essential for the Knicks' success this season. Overall, though, the New York Knicks have some serious potential this season, and if everything goes right, they could be holding that championship trophy. Brunson is ready to light it up this season. After an impressive run last year, he's got the skills and the leadership to elevate his game even further. His ability to score and create plays is phenomenal. Brunson averaged 24 points and 6 assists last season, and I believe he can take it up a notch. He's got the right mindset and work ethic, and that's crucial for an MVP run. Just imagine him orchestrating the offense with precision, while also knocking down clutch shots when it matters most. But for Karl Anthony Towns, he's not just another center. He's a versatile big man who can dominate both in the paint and from beyond the arc. With his unique skill set, Towns brings a different dynamic to the Knicks. If he stays healthy and finds his rhythm, he could easily make an all-NBA team. The combination of his scoring ability, rebounding, and playmaking will make him a nightmare for opposing defenses. I can already see defenders scrambling to keep up with him. One of the keys to winning a championship is depth. The Knicks have a solid roster. If players like Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson step up and play to their potential, they'll add significant firepower. Bridges can score in bunches, and Robinson is a beast on the boards. Their contributions will take pressure off Brunson and Towns, allowing them to shine even more. In addition to that, the Knicks defense has been a strong point. They've built an identity around elite defense, and with Towns and Robinson anchoring the paint, it'll be tough for opponents to score. If they can continue to create turnovers and get out in transition, they'll have a recipe for success. Just picture them locking down the opposition while Brunson and Towns push the pace. Chemistry is another essential factor. This team has been through battles together, and that experience matters. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses, which can lead to better on-court synergy. The more they play together, the more they'll develop that chemistry. And that's crucial when the games matter the most. If they can build on their past successes and learn from their mistakes, they could become a formidable force. Coaching also plays a massive role. With a solid strategy and adjustments from the coaching staff, the Knicks can maximize their strengths and minimize weaknesses. If they can adapt to different styles of play and stay flexible throughout the season, they'll be even harder to beat. I can feel the excitement already. If Jaylen Brunson can elevate his game into the MVP conversation, and Karl Anthony Towns proves to be a force on the court, the Knicks will have what it takes to compete for a championship. They've got the talent, depth, and chemistry to make it happen. And let's not forget about the Garden crowd. When they're roaring, there's no place like home. So, keep an eye on the Knicks this season. With a little bit of luck and everything going right, they could just surprise everyone and claim that championship. If you enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.